Hey, it's BT with the BT Buriam Gp review. Let's get right to it. Listen, Moto 3, what needs to be said? David Alonso, it's all you need to know. But the rider of the race is Luca Lanetta. The second podium. The Italian's doing his thing really quietly. No one's mentioning him. Luca Lanetta, watch out for him. And also the funniest thing ever, if you're a dork like me, you watch everything, right? I mean, if there was a cam for watching those guys get up in the morning, that's kind of creepy. If there was a cam for just, I don't know, just watching them, whatever, I would watch it. I just love MotoGP. If anybody knows me knows, if Moto 3 starts at 9, I'm usually there about 8:15. Like, hey, can somebody open this gate, please? Thank you. Watch after the race when they're being golf carted to the podium, and David Alonso hands Luca Lanetta a Red Bull, and Lanetta drinks it, and they were like, "Aren't you sponsored by Monster or something?" He's like, and he's kind of like looking at the can, kind of giving it back. And it was a talk about sponsorship. Kind of like if you saw Michael Jordan wearing Under Armour shoes, you go, Mike, and he goes, don't tell nobody, it was a mistake. I had nothing else to wear, right? That's what it's like. So it was kind of funny to watch these little kids talk about sponsorship, and he's like drinking a Red Bull, and I think he's sponsored by Monster. Watch that. So anyway, Luca Lanetta is my rider of the race. Heartbreak, listen, if some gave all was a racer, it'd be Furusado. He's my heartbreak, because Furusado literally finished that race on his back. He crashed going across the finish line. It was horrific. He's okay, but man, and he got points. So anyway, hey, it's not a matter how you do it, as long as you do it. So props to Furusado, man. He crossed on his back, and his bike was over there, but they both finished. So anyway, Moto 2. Listen, Ogura deserves a champion. He's my rider of the race because he's champion, and I'm not dissing him because he deserves it. He really does. Ogura deserves a champion. You know what Ogura is? Ogura is, if you're a woman from 18 through 22, right? He's that guy you should marry, right? He's that guy, if you're supposed to go out at 8, he's there at 7:59 and 52 seconds, like, hi, I bought you some flowers. And she's like, oh, thanks. And he opens the door for you, you go out to eat, and he listens to your boring ass stories that have no ending. And he's like, wait a minute. You mean Mary, your older sister? You mean the friend when y'all lived in Mobile, Alabama? That's the one that got in trouble? And she's like, oh my God, you remember that? And he goes, why wouldn't I? And she's like, oh my God. But she's really thinking, he's nice, but I want a bad boy. I want somebody who's, hold on, is that Iannone? Oh my God. Oh, wait, I think that's Iannone. I can't tell, his face looks different. Anyway, so that's what I feel about Ogura. He's good, he deserves the championship, don't get me wrong. But right now, Aaron Canet is doing the damn thing. He's focused, he's married. If you go to his Instagram, he's like he's born again Christian, but except without all the Jesus stuff. But that's what he's like. He's like a dude person. He's really, really focused, and props to him. He's getting it, and he's got it. So props to Aaron Canet. I want him to be my rider of the race, but got to give it to Ogura. He deserved it. Heartbreak goes to Tony Arbolino. I don't know if he went to New Orleans and caught a curse, because, man, he gets hit on the entrance to pit lane, right? Almost gets his leg broke by Zonta Gondenberg. And then Firming Alligator decides to play curling in whatever turn they're in, and he just hurls through and knocks over everybody, and Tony Arbolino gets knocked off his bike. So heartbreak goes to Tony Arbolino. He was going to have a good weekend, I think, but who knows now, because he had a bad weekend. So he's my heartbreak. But props to Ogura. Hope he has a good MotoGP career, but he's just kind of like, but props to him. Anyway, MotoGP, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, rider of the race, hear me out. Rider of the race goes to Pecco Bagnaia because it's his first wet weather race win. And that's a tongue twister in MotoGP, and he had to fight off Marc Marquez. Even though he did have pole, he fought off Marc Marquez to get his first wet weather race when he needed it. That's a lot of pressure. You need that win, and it's in the rain, and you got Marquez breathing down your neck. Are you out of your fucking mind? It's like you need a basket, and Michael Jordan's guarding you, and it's like, oh shit. And you gotta go, and you're down by 2, so you need a 3, and it's 11 seconds, and it's like 5 seconds left, so you know you're taking the shot. That's what that's like, and he nailed it. So props to Pecco Bagnaia. I wanted it to be Pedro Acosta. I thought Acosta rode a great race. A heartbreak goes to Marc Marquez. Let me tell you something. Him almost saving it, his almost save was better than some people save. His almost, he just kept, if you watched it, how he kind of gave the old chicken wing, and I thought that was great. And he prevented Martin from crashing, because Martin saw him, and he goes, oh shit. and he happened to straighten up. If you watch it, Martin, even he said he almost crashed. So even when Marcus crashed, he still steals the show. He's my heartbreak. Because Mark, let me tell you something, Mark can take points away and he's going to help one or the other incidentally. Mark has no say-so in this. He really doesn't. So, I mean, you could say maybe because Martin is Spanish also, but Mark don't give a shit. If he don't win it, he don't give a damn. He just wants to win. He had the faster bike. But, which brings us to a point. Listen, if you watch Pedro Acosta's battle with Jack Miller and Marquez battle with Bagnaia were two of the greatest parts. And what the if you have the video pass, MotoGP needs to have split screen. If it's two great battles, you shouldn't have to miss it. And as much as we pay for the video pass, they should put split screen in. That should be included. Kind of like the timing should be included instead of extra. But anyway, so I think they should have split screen. But that being said, if you do yourself a favor, watch Pedro Acosta's interview with Matt Burke. It's hilarious. He was saying how the first time he looked at the pit board, he said, you got 16 more laps. And he goes, oh, no. He literally said it like that. And then he looked at the mapping, right? And he goes, oh, shit. Oh, shit. And he literally said that, oh, shit. They don't try to cover it up, which is great about the video pass. They don't cover up the cussing. I mean, they don't do it gratuitously, but it's hilarious. So if you get a chance, watch Pedro Acosta. We need personalities like him because Marquez maybe after this year has another 2, maybe 3 years left of competitive racing. And Marquez said he's not going to stick around just to stick around and get a check. So, and Pedro Acosta has that personality plus the talent. And I hope that talent keeps rising. I hope he doesn't bottom out. I hope he becomes the racer we want him to be. And if he does, that's going to help MotoGP, which leads me to a question. Listen, I love Pecco. I love Pecco, and I love Martin. But they have dry personality. But should that matter? I mean, because listen, when Pecco wins, he's thanks to the team, blah blah. He's bland. He's like Barry Sanders when he scored a touchdown. No big dancing, no like, whoa, look at me and spin the football. He hands the ball back to the ref. Does that make a difference to you in MotoGP? I mean, listen, we were spoiled with Rossi. Rossi started. Rossi, Lorenzo, Marquez, listen, those guys have personality, but that's them. They didn't really force it because that's them. So it'd be wrong to want something out of a racer that's not them. Like Pecco and Martin, that's really not them. They are who they are. They're not really funny, but they're good dudes. It's just, right? Where Marquez is funny and Pedro Acosta, just watching Pedro, his mannerisms, everything about the guy just says winner, and I love to do, and he's funny. So does personality make a difference with you guys? I'm asking you that. Does personality make a difference? Yes or no? I mean, would you watch MotoGP if Mark is gone? Let's just say Mark is gone and Acosta's, God forbid, Acosta's hurt and he's not there for a weekend. And if it was the beginning of the year, say it's in a race in Jerez or whatever, all right? Would you watch MotoGP? Would you watch MotoGP if they weren't there? If the racing was good, but nobody really had a personality. Like they were all Pedro Acostas. I mean, they were all Pecco Bagnaias. They were all just straight, would you watch? Is it the racing or the personality, or would you want a little bit of both? I'm asking you guys that. Also, how about, it's not official yet, but it's pretty much a done deal that Iannoni's coming back. And I mean, the Maniac's coming back to race. Speaking of personality, the Maniac is coming back. Listen, Iannoni on a Ducati, can he make a difference? Who knows? But if he gets close to Martin and Bagnaia, let me tell you something. You think being close to Marquez, if you're in a championship race, is nerve-wracking? Try being close to the Maniac, who really don't give a fuck. I mean, that's going to be interesting. I hope it happens. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I can't wait. Listen, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate that. That's the question I posed to you. Does personality make a difference with you as far as you watching the race? And do you know anybody that left MotoGP when Rossi left? Because if they did, then they weren't really racing fans anyway. But does it make a difference? I mean, just be honest. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm not gonna lie, Marquez going out hurt because it definitely meant that he's out of the championship hunt. I mean, listen, deep down inside, I never want anybody to crash, never. But what I really wanted when I saw the rain race, I was thinking maybe, just maybe, those guys go wide. Mark wins the race, And those guys, Mark just chips away to the point of it comes down to Valencia, and Mark has a chance. So when he crashed, it definitely showed that that it's it's a 2-horse race, which is great. It's the rematch, and it's kind of like a boxing match. The reason I bring that personality part up is because I saw on the internet this guy goes, well, Dorna, you got the 2 guys fighting for the championship, and the internet is quiet. It sounds like a you problem. You need to fix that. But not really. If that's not who their personality is and they fight on the track, I think that makes a difference. But it's like a boxing match, Martin throws a couple jabs and then Pecco comes back. And then just when you think Pecco's got the momentum, boom, Martin comes back or Pecco crashes. It's a beautiful championship run. It's not getting the credit it deserves. So you guys tell me what you think about that. Going to Sepang, it's going to be great. I love the triple headers. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Until then, you know the word. Bye.